portrayed by Sonam Raghuvanshi.
All right, Yatyab, thank you for joining us. So we'll also continue to talk about this. My colleague Nibir Deka is with us on the show as well. Mr. KV Dhananjay, lawyer, Supreme Court, is joining us. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS, joins us on the program as well. Nibir, before I go to my guests, what's the latest that you can tell us about what the authorities believe is happening at this point in time? Of course, a lot of investigation, a lot of remands is something that we have already covered. What are the next steps in unearthing this conspiracy, something that threw all of us off, Nibir? In the beginning, it seemed like a kidnapping and murder of the couple, but it's startling information to find out that the wife was involved in this.
Yes, Vinit, currently we are in Shillong, capital of Meghalaya. The police are anticipating Sonam coming back with the team of Meghalaya Police for the remand that they have got for 72 hours. And further, she is expected to also produce in the court. And then tomorrow, because it's already late night here, tomorrow she is expected to go to Sohra district, which is where the incident happened, where Raja Raghuvanshi lost his life. And the entire scene recreation is expected by the police taking along Sonam to those areas where they had visited. And very important is the area where his body was found. It's a gorge, and it's a very remote area where you need to have a guide to visit that area. And very interestingly, from the sources that we have picked up, that she had even told the guide to not accompany them on the very particular day, and that after which the boat went on missing. And so all these angles will be investigated by the police. She will be taken into that remote area as well in the Sohra district where they had visited, and after which the police is also going to file a report, because it is only Sonam who will be able to reveal to the police as to how the day planned out and what were the areas they had visited. Today we visited the homestay where they stayed in Shillong. However, on the next day itself, they had gone to Sohra district. And very interesting is that they had gone on a scooter. Usually when tourists come here, they don't go alone on a scooter to a district such as Sohra, because it's a outskirted district. But Sonam and Raja had gone on a scooter to a remote district all by themselves. And what transpired after that, we all know how Raja had lost his life. But now the main focus of the Meghalaya police is to reenact those scene, and also to find out all possible angles and links into the matter.
Nibir, thank you for joining us. Mr. KV Dhananjay, lawyer of the Supreme Court, also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Dhananjay, your initial impressions over here, and what kind of intricacies does this case present to you?
Parallel to a very popular Karnataka matter known as Shubha murder. I mean, the facts here resemble a great deal facts in a Karnataka case that was almost 12, 15 years ago, and that caught the attention of the public for a very long time. There were convictions, of course, in that case, and again, that in that case as well, the victim as well as the persons accused of the crime were all coming from very big affluent families. There was one reason why I think this matter has caught on the attention of the public at large in this country, and that is, what happens when parents don't really know what's happening with their children. Like if children are having some kind of an affair, but then are too afraid to admit that to the parent because the parent is just not willing to accept something like that. Maybe for all these social concerns, I think the lesson to draw from this is I think parents have to get closer to their children and find out what's happening, and parents must always tell their children to come to be right about whatever is happening in their lives, and share with the parents whatever romantic relationships that are happening. Because if in a case like this, if perhaps if the girl who could have admitted to her parents the fact of an affair with a boy, probably the parents would never have accepted that arrangement. But still, if the parents would have accommodated the mental space in their family for their child to confide, what was really going on, then perhaps this tragedy could have been averted. And our heart goes out to the victim here and to the family of the victim. Nobody should be forced to endure something like this. And also, for a newly married boy to be caught off guard, and that too in a distant place, and more like by his own wife, who's conspiring with her boyfriend. I think this is, it's hard to digest an event like this. This is really going to lead to a call for very heinous punishment. I mean, or rather rigorous punishment for this heinous crime for both the girl and her boyfriend. But I think I know it's certainly a great deal of shock, and most people would have a hard time reconciling this with the thought of what the boy might have undergone in his last moments. You just been married, and you believed you are in your honeymoon, and what you find is your wife has just conspired to finish you off. Again, it's important to know what kind of thoughts the girl and her boyfriend were really entertaining here. Did they obviously think that Meghalaya being a faraway place, they could just scheme something like this and get away? So, I don't know. Maybe, there's a need for some more psychological literature on things like this. We need enough experts to go to jails and talk to these people, find out about what kind of thoughts they harbor, and write about it, so that everyone's better off reading about what kind of motivations in fact might compel people like this to engage in such ghastly acts, and perhaps to some extent protect oneself. um, I think that's the way I look at it. And of course, Meghalaya, previously they had some difficulty with their criminal laws, but now they follow the law just like in mainland. They follow the same Indian Penal Code and then the new BNS. So Meghalaya does not have a summary procedure for something like this. They will have the same kind of criminal trial like would have been the case had this murder taken place anywhere else. Now, if conspiracy took place outside of Meghalaya, but then because the murder did happen in Meghalaya, Meghalaya will have the jurisdiction to deal with this matter to start to finish. No other state, even if someone, even if a state police outside of Meghalaya could say that conspiracy was hashed in that state, I think Meghalaya will have the precedence over any other territory in dealing with this crime. And because the government also seemed to be very concerned about the bad reputation this event was bringing to their territory, it's in their best interest to see that the trial is swiftly concluded, and the new criminal laws and procedures that we've had since last year does provide for speedy trials, and Meghalaya should make full use of it and then come out with a conclude the trial in the next 3 or 4 months. This is not really a complicated case at all to crack. This is one of relatively simpler ones. It's just that the facts are so ghastly, it will leave an indelible impression in those who those who get to know about it. But then the case per se is not a difficult one to try. That's what I would like to say.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, there have been similar cases in the past as well. They have